Welcome to the Radio Scilly Video Report. Subscribe at youtube.com/Radio Scilly to be alerted when we upload new video reports. Sign up to the Scilly Lottery and you've a 1 in 2,000 chance of winning £1,000. You can play if you live on the mainland. It helps keep Radio Scilly on air and funds good causes around the islands. Read more at scillylottery.com.
The Scilly Lottery, thecillylottery.com.
It's all change at a St Mary's pub, but we're not talking about staffing arrangements, even though the boss of the Atlantic Hotel is temporarily looking after arrangements at the Atlantic Inn. John McKitterick says he wants islanders to take spare coins after foreign trips and holidays into the pub so they can decorate the bar area. Despite the number of coins from all over Europe and further afield, John doesn't think he has to warn insurers about the value.
No, not at all. I don't think there is any intrinsic value in them.
Have any disappeared?
Yes, quite a few disappeared. When we had notes up there, we had an awful lot of notes going missing. A few years ago I came back from a holiday in Dominican Republic, put about 40 quid's worth up there, and it lasted about 3 days.
So islanders know the value of them?
Absolutely, yes. Somebody was obviously going away for their holidays.
A team of 10 students from Truro and Penwith College have been travelling between 10 of our islands to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Shelter Box initiative. The Cornish-based charity buys tents to house people who've lost everything in natural disasters, such as earthquakes. The youngsters have tried to raise £10,000. Some of the challenges were reportedly tough, including co-steering, which is effectively jumping off rocks and travelling between the islands by swimming. Nick Ramsden says swimming from St Martin's to Tresco was very difficult. His friend Matt McKenna said moving in the water was made more of a challenge by the island's seaweed.
Basically because of the
Blooming cold,
very cold water over here. The tidal, the rip and everything, the currents.
the seaweed as well. You get close to the rocks and the seaweed
really
tangles around your arms.
Compact, and you have to swim through it, it's like battering through like stuff.
So tell me that again. Why is the seaweed a challenge if you're co-steering?
Because we have to it's really thick and compact, and you have to battle through it and just swimming against it, and it's really
Tangles
tough.
around your arms.
It tangles around your arms, and you get all caught up. But we got through it.
Truro and Penwith College student Blossom Hamer said she particularly enjoyed the orienteering. Orienteering? People say that women can't read maps. True or false?
False. I think the hardest part of orienteering was carrying the shelter boxes around with us. We had to lug 3 great shelter boxes around.
Do you realise how heavy they are when you have to do that?
Oh yeah, definitely. And not only shelter boxes, we had loads of kit with us as well that we had to carry around. All the kit that we was using for the whole challenge, we had to carry around with us everywhere we went.
So you got this tent on Holgate Green now, the shelter box. Have you been living in that?
Yeah, in the 10-man tent. Yeah, we've been living in that for the past
2
2 nights, 3 days. Yeah.
Then we've had 4-man.
The students also got to learn about some of the island's history by visiting the uninhabited island of St Helens.
Favourite bit, probably was the co-steering. Just the long stretches of different islands and just all the environment around us. It was quite educational as well. Like the Leper Island or something, where they used to send
shove
all
the people who had illnesses and everything
off the ships and stuff. So we read all
Bung them
those
in there
packs.
for a
So it's
couple of
educational as well, really. So.
Expedition manager Charlotte McCrill says they've managed to bring in £2,000 out of their £10,000 expected total, and they believe they'll bolster the cash raised to the target figure over the next few weeks. She says she's thankful to Islanders for all of the support offered.
Yes, most definitely. The Islanders have been absolutely fantastic. A big thank you to all of the people that helped us. The bike hire on St Mary's giving it to us, the gig rowers, the campsites, all the different Islanders everywhere have been absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much.
Whilst strike action is affecting SAT exams in primary schools across the UK, there's no planned disruption here on the islands. The Five Islands School, like many others, have decided that the late notice of a boycott wasn't really fair for pupils, and they didn't want to cause the disruption. School head teacher Bryce Welby tells Radio Scilly News that the school's focus is the pupils and what is best for them. He tells us to boycott at this late stage would be confusing, and it would be unfair to cause disruption. Bryce says he believes that the unions should be voting to boycott next year, and there then will be a whole year for pupils and government, whoever that is, to prepare for what to do instead. He tells us it's important to keep the focus on what is best for the island's pupils, and in the long term he says SATs are not good for education and will eventually go. St Mary's Police say they intend informing the licensees group Pubwatch over the behaviour of an island resident on Saturday night. The male, who was meant to have been working, was ejected from licensed premises in Hewtown for allegedly being drunk and causing some offence to revellers following a wedding on Saturday afternoon. The individual required hospital treatment, and police attended the scene of an incident where he apparently came into contact with a pavement on a patch of road with uneven surface in Hewtown. And the brand new police helicopter for Devon and Cornwall has been in Scilly. The new model is a Eurocopter EC-145. The force has been planning to buy this for 3 years. They've got it because of better air endurance. It can fly for 2.5 hours, whereas the previous model could only manage 90 minutes in the air. It came to St Mary's for a brief time on Saturday afternoon for 45 minutes, as officers travelled to the police station to drop off the Taser electric criminal restraints, which have been planned to be deployed in the island since Christmas time. Scilly's Member of Parliament has been explaining why he thinks his majority was so drastically reduced from 11,900 to 1,700 voters. Andrew George says the media hype surrounding expenses on what he claims are unfair accusations levelled at him and his family will have played to some wavering voters. He also claims there were scare tactics by Conservatives, which suggested that voting for the Liberal Democrats would mean a vote for Gordon Brown in coalition. And closer to home, he says removing Hale from the constituency of St Ives brought a loss of votes for him. There have been disagreements between our Member of Parliament and the Council here in Scilly. The public arguments around disagreements over Andrew George's preference of the so-called Option C for the route partnership plan. He said in a public meeting at the Old Wesleyan Chapel he preferred the Long Rock container port idea, although he qualified that by saying that he wouldn't back an option that would be more expensive for Scilly. That led to accusations that he wasn't representing islanders' interests, and the council went to the extreme level of informing Labour ministers that he may not be wholly representative of islanders' views in any meetings about the project. Andrew says now he's been re-elected, though, he'll continue to work with the council.
I'll continue fighting for the islands and working with the council where they wish to work with me. But above all, I work for all constituents as the local Member of Parliament, and if that puts me occasionally in dispute or disagreement with any agency, authority, or other body, then well, that so be it. These things are part of part of political life, aren't they? That not everyone agrees all the time, and there are occasions, of course, when the Council of the Isles of Scilly and I don't see eye to eye. I would say the majority of occasions we do, and work together very, very, very well. But above all, I put my constituents first, and I can't. I'm not there as an agent for the council.
Islands Tourism and its role as Scilly's Chamber of Commerce say they've taken up the views of retailers in Hewtown over the proposed tourist information centre on St Mary's Quay. Some shopkeepers were incensed when the council announced plans to offer sale of goods at the facility on the harbour. It's designed to provide information and advice for cruise ship passengers coming ashore and people visiting by boat. Tourist Board Chair Christine Saville told Radio Scilly News that just some guidebooks, maps and entertainment for youngsters travelling back by sea would be on offer, but retailers claim that they already fund the council's operation through the rates, and they don't expect the authority to go against them by replicating commercial sales. Ewan Roger of Islands Tourism tells Radio Scilly that his body's written to Diana Mompoloki at the Town Hall, expressing their concern about the increase of the Tourist Information Centre's retail activities. They've requested that the council produces a coherent policy in regard for the future. Ewan says that Island Tourism expects a positive outcome through their lobbying and will report back through Radio Scilly.